In this video, we'll discuss gearing up before your skydive. You should check your rig at the start of every jumping day and before putting your rig on for every skydive. Perform your checklist following a logical and consistent path along your rig so you don't miss anything. In our example, we go top to bottom, back to front. Whatever order you choose, make it the same every time. Also, if you ever see anything that looks questionable to you, ask an authority, such as a rigger, to look it over. Starting with the reserve flap, check the reserve cable can move freely in its housing. The RSL is attached, routed correctly, and is not worn. The reserve pin is fully seated, the seal is intact, and the reserve closing loop is not worn. Under the main flap, check the main pin is fully seated, the main closing loop is not worn, and the kill line is the appropriate color indicating the pilot chute is cocked. Also, check that your bridle is routed properly for your container. Next, check that the bridle is tucked away from the main flap to the BOC, and that the main handle is seated properly, with the pilot chute completely tucked into the BOC. Also, check for wear on the BOC, and make sure the elastic is tight enough to keep the main handle and pilot chute secure. Moving to the front of the rig, check that the AAD is turned on and ready. Check that the 3 rings are routed properly, with each ring through the next largest ring. Check that the riser loop is routed only through the smallest of the 3 rings, and then through the grommet on the cutaway cable housing. Also, check the riser loop for excessive wear. Check that the cutaway cable is routed correctly through the riser loop and stowed in its channel. Check that the cutaway and reserve cables are not kinked. Check that the RSL is hooked up properly. Inspect the laterals and chest strap for excessive wear. Include inspection for damaged or missing stitches. Check that the reserve and cutaway handles are fully seated. Check that the leg straps are routed properly and inspect for excessive wear. Include inspection for damaged or missing stitches. Next, it's time to put on your rig. After putting on your rig, secure and tighten your chest strap before tightening your leg straps. Your rig will fit best this way. After tightening the chest strap, stow the excess. Next, tighten your leg straps and stow the excess for each of them. Make sure your leg straps are tightened evenly. Once you have all the connections tightened, do your check of 3s. Check the 3 handles are seated properly in the order you would pull them: main, cutaway, reserve. Check the 3 connections are routed properly, and the 3 rings are routed properly with the RSL hooked up correctly. Finally, think HAG, helmet, altimeter which should be zeroed, and goggles if you have them. We recommend taking care of all of this before walking over to the boarding area. It's good policy to commit to the idea that you arrive at the boarding area ready to skydive. Following these simple guidelines will help you get the most out of your skydives. Thank you for watching the Rhythm Skydiving Instructional Series. For more videos like this, please visit www.rhythmskydiving.com/videos. Have a great jump.